all the initial co-founders, we were the fan of Marvel.
So is the product that intelligent, or I would say AI enabled, that it captures the emotion of what the human would want to portray in front of public?
Our users tells us that you have given us our weekends back.
So when you say personality, how would you define the personality of your company?
I mean, when I think about the personality of the company, it's like a super fast leopard.
I think branding also plays such a big role today when you're looking at video creation and the way you want to put out your content. So
now it's very important for the founders to be visible because that just gives the brand a voice which is visible in the market.
Your company's name, how did you really come about?
It's a funny story. It actually doesn't mean anything.
Today I'm very pleased to invite a young dynamic founder from a company called Tessact. It's a Mumbai-based AI-powered video tech company on a mission to simplify how the world edits, analyzes, and experiences video content. Built at the intersection of creativity and intelligence, Tessact enables creators, broadcasters, and media platforms to automate editing and gain deeper insights, all in real time. So let's hear it from the founder himself, and let's understand his journey of building the company, and let's understand his experiences of what he's gone through. So Apurv Gandhwani, thank you for being on my show today. Very pleased to have you on my show. So tell me, how did Tessacts really begin, and what were the early days looking like while you were building the company?
Yeah, so it all began in the hostel rooms of our college. I did my internship, the college internship in Disney, where I was working with my ex-co-founder also, and I met my current co-founder also in Disney only. So what we saw there, and I think like that was the first exposure we had in the media industry as students, and there we saw that there are so many inefficiencies. Like the team which we were sitting with, their whole job was to watch the videos day in and day out and cut the final versions.
Right, before that, maybe you'd like to give a glimpse of your educational background to our viewers so that they get an idea of how did everything come along while you were building and you got into video creation.
Sure. So I was back then, like I was studying in IIT Bombay, and that's where like I started looking into, I got into like computer science and programming at that point in time, where I got to work with Disney as an internship program. Where my first exposure of media happened. Now, like I had no idea about how videos work, and being a kid who was like very fascinated by how movies are made and like how things, what goes behind the cameras, I think it was first of its kind experience, I would say. But yeah, the internship actually showed us how inefficient things are behind the camera, how people still do the rigorous manual work, which can be easily automated by machines out there. And I was just wondering why such a big company is still not doing things with automation. And then we realized that AI is not that penetrated into the media at all, right? Like, and it's a domain or industry where people are not even looking to innovate using AI. And this is back in like 2016, 2017 we are talking about. So we just took that memory of internship where we saw so many people having that whole rigorous day, doing the same boring job. And it just stayed with us for 1.5 years. And then we came together to just build something for that team. Not a big product, nothing, but we just wanted to help those type of teams, and we thought that if Disney is facing these kind of things, then there would be other organizations who would be working in the similar fashion.
Right. So tell me, was it the market opportunity, or what was the biggest drive while you were when you saw a gap, that you saw a gap in video editing, that a lot of companies today are not having the right tools, technologies, the right product fit. So what was the biggest motivator back then?
I think we were not looking at it as a big market opportunity. We were just looking, like being students in college, we were just looking at, can we make a product which can just make some organizations feel that they are using a good product, right? So we just made it from that point of view, but like the good thing started happening after that. So we took some like 2 years to do our groundwork and talk to users and everything. But when we showed our first product to those users, they liked it so much that they started asking for more, right? So when you show automation to people, I think the natural reaction of human is like, can you do more? Can you
And
do?
who are your first users?
Our first of the customers was Sony 9X at that point in time. Uh, but yeah, then like I think users in 2019 we actually figured that this can be much bigger than this particular one tool. And like just to tell you what we were doing at that point in time, I think like what we automated is people used to like when a movie is created or content is created, it has to go through multiple geographies, and every geography has their own rule of what you can show and cannot show in the content. So that smoking is injurious to health, that Ashton bar which comes, that is India rule, right? So that's
Right.
like that there are multiple country rules. People watch the content, sit and do it manually, right? So we just automated that small piece for every organization out there, and I think we were the first ones to automate it for Sony India in across the world. So I think like that was a big jump for us, and after that I think it never stopped coming to us in terms of requirements what people want. So whatever we did till now is not the market gap we figured out. I give all the credit to all the users we have worked with who has shown us the right path, that okay, this is what we need, can you automate this, right? And in that we made a lot of mistakes also, but it's a user driven product which we have built.
Right. So for you, is it the technology itself? Is it the challenge or the impact that really drives this journey forward for you from here on?
I think for me, it's the impact and the experience user gets. Technology is just an enabler for us. It's not a trophy which we hold. So it just makes us to do the kind of things we want to deliver to the users. I think challenge is what keeps us motivated on day-to-day basis. Challenge in making the right things and the difficult parts of the product. But impact is where like I see the most value, and that's where like when our users tells us that you have given us our weekends back, right? Because the work is so much comfortable and smooth throughout the week. It's faster that we can now enjoy on our weekends.
Right. Tell us also about the use cases of the product. Like who is this product specifically designed for? Is it for broadcasters? Is it for digital agencies, ad agencies? Maybe some insight into your use cases that would help our audience.
I think like what now if you look at the market, everything is driving towards the video, right? Everyone is trying to communicate through the video. So it's not like the age where people who were making the videos or creating the videos were broadcasters only or the production houses only. Now every organization is a video company. Even if you look at the smallest of the startups, they are trying to promote their products through the videos. So the product is for any team, small, big, right? Who is dealing with the videos or touching the videos in any way, right? So it's for the people who want to take care of the whole pipeline of post production when the content comes out of the camera till it reaches to the audience. It brings a lot of automation for you. Also, it gives you way to actually manually do things together.
Right, that's very interesting because sometime back we were speaking a few minutes back that if it's a 3-hour segment that you're shooting, how do you really, as you know, manually, it's very cumbersome to sit on a 3-hour edit. And the entire process takes time, it's very time consuming. So, say for example, if it's a social media company or a PR company like us or a digital agency who wants to take out snippets or create viral videos through that 3-hour edit, how would your AI tool automate it in real time without spending too much time doing the job?
Sure, I get that pain which anyone who is creating the videos goes through. I think it takes close to, our research says that it takes close to 2 hours to create one good reel, right? So what exactly the podcasters can do, for example, is like they can just shoot the podcast and feed all the camera videos to the product and let the product decide what can come out as a viral or interesting thing. It will.
So is the product that intelligent, or I would say AI enabled, that it captures the emotion of what the human would want to portray in front of public.
So how it works is like the product reads the video like a human sees the video, right? So it watches the video like a human does, and then from then that point onwards, it becomes your companion to talk to whenever you want to talk about the video. So you can just ask the companion to do anything for you, to make the full 1 hour video, to make the reel out of it, short out of it. If you want us talking about a particular topic, you can just take that. So it's an interface between you and the video. Until now, that interface was missing, right? You were looking at the video directly and talking to the video directly.
So how do I know, a follow-up question would be, how do I know that the output that this companion is actually giving me would be the right output which would excite my users?
Okay, so I mean, like, no one knows what works on social media, right? Like there's no recipe for the best content out there. But what this product does is like it knows what has worked in the past. It knows what is going viral today, right? And then based on what audiences are liking right now on the type of platform you want to publish it to, it will suggest you various options. It's not one option, it will suggest you. I think like it's a volume game. The more number of content you put out there, the more the chances are for you to have that one successful reel on these social media platforms, right?
So it's like you feeding in information in a bot that acts exactly like you to understand your tastes and preferences of what could potentially go viral. Could I say that?
Yeah, that's correct. And it gives you at a volume, right? So if you do it right now manually, then you are limited by the number of outputs you can produce, right? Number of videos you can make in a day. But that is not limited. That can produce hundreds in a day and like give you all the options. Then you choose what you want to do.
Awesome. Another question that I've been very curious to ask, your company's name. How did you really come about the name of the company? What does it really mean?
It's a funny story. It actually doesn't mean anything. All the initial co-founders, we were the fan of Marvel, and there is a cosmic cube in the Marvel universe, which is called Tesseract, and we really wanted that name, but at that point in time, that domain was taken. So we were just thinking like, how can we tweak that word in a way that it sounds like Tesseract, and that's how it came. And I think like that just Tessact, I think, is gives that human personality also to the product which we are making, right? So it sounds cool. It's very edgy on AI side.
So when you say personality, how would you define the personality of your company?
I mean, when I think about the personality of the company, it's like a super fast leopard, I would say, who can run on the ground, who can climb the trees, who can change the directions swiftly. Right?
Adaptable,
so it's very adaptable, but for the videos. So that's the kind of personality which comes to my mind. Like in my team, like multiple people have different types of personalities, but everything resonates to speed and like agility and adaptability.
So say with Tessact, if you had to explain Tessact to say your grandparents, who are pretty old school, not new age of course, how would you explain them of what Tessact is doing and what Tessact is building right now?
It's a very tricky one. I think like the easiest way I can think of right now is like कि आप imagine करो कि आपके पास एक बहुत smart टीवी का रिमोट है, right? और आपके पास पूरा रामायण पड़ा हुआ है, और आपको सीता का स्वयंवर देखना है. तो आप वो रिमोट को बोल दो कि मुझे सीता का स्वयंवर देखना है, और आपके पास सीता का स्वयंवर आ जाएगा और उसके रिलेटेड चीज़ें भी आ जाएगी. और उसी सिस्टम में एक हाउस हेल्प भी है जो आपके पूरे वीडियो को क्लीन करके रखती है कि यहाँ पे गालियाँ हैं, यहाँ पे आपका इंटरेस्टिंग मोमेंट है, वो सब करके रखती है. सो इफ़ यू जस्ट इमेजिन दैट Tessackt इज़ दैट स्मार्ट रिमोट प्लस द हाउस हेल्प for all the studios to do all of their work in couple of minutes.
Wow, that is such an interesting example, and I think you've simplified that so beautifully. So that's amazing. So tell me a little bit about, like today when we're in an era that our attention spans are really short. And most people literally have an attention span of 10 seconds and they swipe to the next story or they swipe to the next reel. How are you trying to build this product when attention spans are only decreasing day by day?
This is the product for that, I think. So, because our attention span is decreasing to couple of seconds now, that is why things like shorts and the reels have boomed and TikTok has come up. But that also means that you need more volume, you need more variety in the content, right? So Tessact directly hits that only. So with one of our clients right now, we are starting to produce close to 60,000 reels a month, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, and the estimation is that not all 60,000 will go viral, but the more you produce, the more chances are there that few of them will go viral, right? So
has there been an instance where, say, you worked with a client and say some of the content pieces have actually gone viral and the client has seen massive following after that content piece going viral after using a platform? Has there been an instance like that in your journey of building Tessact?
We have seen, so till now it's too early right now to say the virality, because the product is in client spaces since like last 3 or 4 months, but we have definitely seen an uptick in the engagement, the kind of subscribers, the followers they are getting, they have the uptick there.
That was my actually next question. How do you really measure? Because virality could mean different for different people.
Yeah.
So how do you really measure? How does a client measure your success?
Yeah, I think like, see, if you're successful in reaching out to your audience, right, with more content of yours which they like, that itself is a success, right? And then it's just a matter of it. So you have to also remember that reel is not created by us. Reel is created from the content you have created. So the original content, this podcast has to be good, right? For the good reels to come out. Otherwise, no matter what you do, the reels won't be good.
So you mean the original content has to be good enough for the AI platform to pick up the good pieces?
It will definitely pick up the good moments if you have the good moments.
Okay, great. I had another question. So I was reading about Meta very recently that they're all set to launch Edit, and it is quite it's a video editing platform, and they're strikingly very resembling CapCut, which is also used for editing. So do you think this is kind of a game changer for the industry? Do you think this is going to help the ecosystem, or do you think is it going to pose a threat to companies like yours?
No, I think like see the tools like Sora has already come months back, right, which lets you create the videos. Meta is just another one in the line. What this always does for us is like it makes the conversation between you and me very simple, because now you know about Meta also, so you have read about it, what it does, right? So I don't have to explain you, so it makes it extremely easy for me to talk on this particular topic. It's the best thing I can ask for right now from the market, that I don't have to explain them why this is important and just talk about the benefits of it. Now, why Meta? I think like, of course, these big boys are trying to get into the things, but where the trickiest part is how the organizations will onboard them, and that is where they all fall short, because it needs a certain level of treatment for the nuances which you get on ground when you put the product in.
So you feel that it is definitely going to enable the ecosystem?
Yes, 100%.
And it is going to help further accelerate or get more adoption from people, or more companies coming into the
and who
forefront.
knows we would end up integrating Meta into Tessact, right? For letting people use Meta if it's really good. So that's always the approach, that if something is good.
Tell me about one good project that you worked on recently that made you feel like, okay, we've arrived, or this is it now, this is just moving forward from here on.
I don't think we have arrived yet. We are yet to be there. But I think like recently we got and we were lucky enough to get the opportunity to work on certain things. Like we recently covered one of the award shows where we took the feed live from the award show and like published all the reels and the shorts in the live real time itself. So the people who were not able to watch the award show, they were seeing all the reels and the shorts which were getting published in the real time. So I think it's still yet to be there, but we are doing some really good work out there with
Awesome.
these big
And
organizations.
do you think, you also mentioned on one of the conversations that we were having earlier that you've raised $1.2 million dollars.
Yeah.
So has that helped in terms of developing the product, the technology? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that immensely helped us to build what we have today, right? Because before we raised, I think we were a bit everywhere. So we were doing a couple of things till then. What this round of fund helped us to do is to get focused, get the right people onboarded, and then build it for 1.5 years. And it took us 1.5 years to build the whole thing on the top of what we were doing for 8 years before that. And yeah, I think that unlocked major part of the development of the product.
Got it. And while you are building a company, you encounter a lot of challenges. So in your case, since you're a tech-enabled AI-powered video tech platform, is it the technology which is complex, or do you think understanding what users want is more complex to understand?
No, I think tech is predictable, right? The algorithms will behave if you feed them enough caffeine and compute. So it's in our hands, but it's very hard to figure out what the user actually wants, because what happens is, and this is a very common occurrence and mistake we make, is when people start liking what we are building, everything in our roadmap seems like a very useful thing, and in every meeting the users or the customers will say that they love it, right? And then you go ahead and build it, but they disappear when the invoice lands. Okay.
That's a part of, I think, any business.
Yeah, any business, right?
Owner
So
faces that.
we made so many mistakes like that in our early days. We wasted months and months in building something which was not at all needed. But again, now we have learned so much from that we have this loop which we always follow, that show them the pain which they go through, then build a prototype around that, and then ask for a purchase order. And if the feature does not survive the last step, then we just kill the feature, however good the feature is or however good the elegant code is.
Oh, wow.
Right? So what that did to Tessact is, our roadmap looks boringly short now, but it delivers. It makes sure that whatever we are building will hit the revenue and will hit the users. Most of the times, we cannot be right all the times, but yeah, most of the times, that cycle has helped us so much.
Right. So tell me, which is that one piece of advice that you got from a company you were pitching to, which did not survive in your language, the way you said it, did not really survive or did not see the light to the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you kind of decided to discard that feature completely. What was that one feature?
We were I remember we spent close to three months in building one feature called live collaboration. Okay, where we thought that it would be very cool to build something where people can come on a video and collaborate live, they can see each other and they can edit the videos together and all of that, right?
Aren't there such platforms already?
No, there are no platforms like that already. So we thought this is a gap, this is a clear gap, okay, and why don't we make it? And we made it, and throughout when we were making it, I think we were so excited because we thought that it is such a useful feature for everyone. But then when we went and pitched that to the customers, that was the feature which was ignored most of the times. Okay, and we were pitching it, but they were liking something else in the product, and that told us that this is not the problem at all. People just don't want it.
And then you just decided to discard that feature.
Yeah, we just decided to take it out because it just creates a clutter more often. So why to have it? And
so was there ever a time that tech didn't work the way you expected it?
Mm-hmm.
And was there something that you learned from it, something valuable that you learned from it?
Mm-hmm. No, I think like it's very often that tech doesn't work for us. In fact, like I look forward to tech failing, uh, particularly in our product, because like that's where we have innovated. Okay, so every time we assume that the tech is perfect now and it will work, um, it has failed. Okay, and
Okay.
every time that happened, we got to know about some nuance that we completely missed or like no one thought about, right? And there are so many instances like that. Just like a couple of days back, we thought that our whole reel creation is looking perfect now, okay, and we shipped it to one of the customers, and then suddenly the customer started reporting that the few words are getting cut in between, and there's a jerk in the frames when the shift happens, right? Totally missed because it's not happening in all the things. And then it took us like close to 1 month to figure out why it was happening, okay, and like that small it was.
Right.
And then we took another month to solve it.
I think
Right.
learning from mistakes
Yeah,
is the
and
only way.
and these are the things which differentiate you from a very early stage company who has started building that product right now, right?
Yeah.
So if someone starts building the product today, um, it's very easy to go to 80% of that product, but that last 20% is where the magic happens, right? The last
Right.
20% is where customers will say wow, and
Yeah.
it's not ever in the first 80%, right? So that
Yeah.
last we have spent like 8 years in that last stretch,
Right.
and that's where like the learnings came slowly. So I think like to this question, I think this is a brilliant question because if tech doesn't fail um, often, then
Yeah.
I would be very worried that we are doing something wrong or we are just taking the easiest of the things out there.
Yeah, so
uh,
it's like market research, right, for you?
yeah
You need to constantly
yeah
keep feeding that data. You need to keep having that data
Yeah, and you
with
can't
you.
learn. You can't learn without that failure, right? In the tech, otherwise, like there's no one who will come and tell you that okay, this is a piece you have missed in the
Right.
because video is such a vast thing
Yeah.
to deal with, right? You will always miss something.
Absolutely. Since you talked about failures, and I think
Mhm.
even in this conversation, you did touch upon mistakes quite a
Mhm.
bit. Tell me your top three mistakes you've made
Mhm.
and how have you really rectified that? It could be at a product level, it could be at a team level,
Mhm.
it could be at an innovation level, tech level,
Mhm.
anything.
At the top of my head is like I got overwhelmed in the early stages of Tessact, and not just me, like all of us in the team, we got overwhelmed with any request which was coming from any direction, right? We just thought that every request is an opportunity for revenue, okay, and that is where you go wrong, I think. So I think like that was my biggest mistake, that I did not filter the wrong things or like the things which were not falling in the vision of Tessact. I did not do that, and that's what I have learned over the years, and now I'm very cautious before saying yes to anything. And the second, I think like I can't remember top three, but the second would be um, we delayed onboarding the right people. I think that is another common thing I have seen. At least we did was we felt that we are enough, right? We as founders are enough. So we just missed out on the things which we just didn't know how to do, right? And we ended up looking to just learn it, right? And that just wastes so much of time. So you can just be so much faster if you have the right people around you, and
Yeah.
you can just figure out, like, of course you don't have money to onboard them initially,
Yeah.
right? But there are n number of ways to just onboard them quickly.
And how have you
Um,
rectified those mistakes? So, do you have a sound team now,
Mhm.
and how does a team structure look like at
No, I
this
think
point in
like
time?
now the biggest strength of Tessact is the team. If you ask this, if you scrap the whole product right now, this is the team who can build something as good as the current product in 6 to 8 months. And that is because we have taught ourselves to innovate, to figure out the new use case, new pain point in the whole process. So that just doesn't stop. And I think like team is the biggest strength why we are going so strong right now in anyone who is using Tessact.
Now it's very interesting because see, as leaders, we have so many responsibilities, right? Leading a team, you mentioned about that. If you had to perhaps do a role reversal or learn something from your team, what would that be? Have you learned any valuable lesson from your team members who are perhaps your most junior most team members that has really changed the way you think as a founder?
No, I think like the junior most people in my team have taught me the best lessons.
Yeah.
Because this whole team which we have built, they are all ground up people, right? They have none of them have been like they are all straight out of college. They joined Tessact. None of them have like seen something very big when they joined us. So they made themselves in Tessact, and I think like the resilience which they just have in order to keep going, right? Because startup is not an easy job.
Absolutely.
So they just like keep. I think what I learned from them is how do you trust something? How do you put belief in something where you have handed over things to someone else to make sure that he will make it successful, right? So that is just the part where how do you surrender? How do you trust someone to and put your head down and let's
I think the
just
biggest
work,
learning
right? Yeah.
can also come from the junior most
Yes,
member of the team.
exactly.
Just the way the biggest idea can come from an intern.
Yeah.
So what are you reading right now? Do you like read or do you consume a lot of video content?
I consume a lot of video and podcast content.
Okay.
Podcast, I assume that podcast is educational, so I don't consider that as one of the things which I want to stop. But I think like video content, any kind of video content, I consume a lot, movies and all. But I think like on the book side, I really like to read things where I can learn something. I think like I'm not a big reader on the fiction side, but so the one book which I keep going back to is there's a book called Hard Things About Hard Things. So that just tells you about the mistakes you might make while you are running a company, and how to deal with those kind of things. So
Okay. And have you learned, what was your biggest learning from that book?
No, I think each chapter is the biggest learning, but my biggest learning out of that book is how to be very upfront with people, right, and not to have any expectation gaps. So just making sure that the whole communication is very straightforward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. If you had to describe yourself as a meme, what sort of a meme would you use for yourself to describe yourself?
That's a tough one. Okay, I think like I don't know if you've seen that meme from Welcome movie of Nana Patekar.
Yeah, welcome.
Where he just says this.
Yeah.
So I think like that is the most used meme in my
Nice.
chats wherever I just don't feel like reacting to something. I just say Jane de. So
What are some of the lessons you wish you knew earlier as a business owner that you probably would want to implement now? Like you always say that I wish I knew this earlier.
No, I just wish I said no more often.
There's a lot of problem with a lot of business owners I meet.
Nothing else. I think like I should have said no the most of the times during the initial years of Tessact, and I should have stood by it. But of course, like business drives you to say yes most of the times, right? To just please the clients and please the customers. So I think that is my biggest mistake I have done, which might have cut down 2 years at least. That's I think that's something which I would go back and implement again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for any business, Apurva, I think branding, marketing, storytelling plays a very important role. So let's say you have to pitch Tessacct to a bunch of creators or journalists from the 90s. How would you pitch your brand, and what would you say? How would you sell your story to these bunch of creative storytellers?
So I think 90s was a very different era, right? So in 90s, if you remember, people used to shoot on cassettes.
Yeah.
Right, and there were like limited cassettes available for a shoot. So right now here we can have like 3 cameras and they can continuously roll for like 3 hours, right? That was not the case. So people used to like shoot on cassettes. So it's, I think like I would just go to them and say that you have so many cassettes here shot, and they used to write in the sheet the time codes. Okay, ये shot यहाँ से यहाँ तक है, ये shot यहाँ से यहाँ तक है, right? I would just say that like I'm just giving you one robot where it will go and pick the things for you and arrange the things for you how you want in your cassette. So you don't have to worry about the operation. I mean, like back in those days, from what I heard from my friends who are working in the industry, it was so much of pain to be an assistant director. Okay, because the whole job of an assistant director was to keep notes of what has been shot when, and it was a 60-90 day shoot, right? So much of things coming in the cassettes. So it would just help all of them. This, I would just say that it's your automation for sorting your work. That's all, nothing else.
Yeah, let's talk about collaborations, because that's an interesting topic. Because when you look at, say, B2C brands or D2C brands, they thrive on collaborations, whether it's fashion as a category, travel as a category, lifestyle as a category. But yours is a very different business. It's B2B to C, I would say. Or technically B2B.
B2B, yeah.
B2B. So how do you go about, have you thought of any sort of collaboration opportunities, or have you tried anything unconventional that has really worked for you? Or are you planning to do something like that?
But we haven't tried, as I said, we are early, but we are looking into like talking to some of the people who the industry believes that these are the people we should listen when it comes to the videos, right? It can be any of the content creators out there. It can be any of the veterans of the industry whom people go to for these kind of things. But I think like this question would be, I'll answer this question to you personally after like 3 to 4 months when we do that. That would be the more right time.
Sure. Hopefully I'll call you in for another podcast session.
Who knows? You would be one of them. So
and you'll have more to share then. Awesome. So Apurva, I was meaning to ask you this question because when I interact with a lot of founders, there's this theory of, sometimes the founders themselves like to be more visible than the company themselves. So in your case, do you think the founders should be more visible today, or do you think the product itself should do most of the talking? What would you choose, and what would be that in your case?
Yeah, I think like for like even founders to be more visible, I assume that the prerequisite is to have a very solid product first. If you come from a product company, right? So in our case, for example, the product has to be solid. So it's like a F1 car itself, where the car has to be really good. Then only Hamilton can do magic with it.
So you're equating the car's engine to tech in this case.
To the product, not tech, but the product, what you're building, right? And then founder, and like not just founder, but the team is just driving that product, right? So I think like now it's very important for the founders to be visible, because that just gives the brand a voice which is visible in the market, right?
So which would be a higher weightage for you? In your case, would it be, say, Apurv Gandhwani would be bigger than Tessact, or would Tessact be bigger than Apurva?
No, it always has to be Tessact bigger than Apurv Gandhwani, because until you make that happen, the other thing will never happen, right? Because
why would you say that?
Because people latch on to what you have done, or what you have executed before they latch on to you, right?
So you mean the credibility of the company plays a far greater role?
Yeah, the credibility of what you have done with what you were trying to do plays a bigger role. Right now, like that's your deed, right? That's what you're doing day in, day out. That just defines how good you are at it. And I think that's just my philosophy, that your execution should be bigger than you. Then of course like things follows, right? No one plans they have to be bigger than
But
a company.
in today's
yeah.
day and age, the personal branding
Mm-hmm.
itself plays such an important
Yeah,
role
yeah.
for founders to stand out. So you
Yeah.
have platforms like LinkedIn
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
which is a professional networking platform.
Mhm.
You have platforms like Twitter,
Mhm.
where people actually post about all kinds of content,
Mhm.
generic content, to new developments also happening. Like you see Mahindra, the Mahindra guys post a lot on Twitter. Anand Mahindra, very very active on Twitter. Or if you look at LinkedIn, there are so many LinkedIn guys, like even guys like Shashank Mehta from Whole Truth Food, or these kind of people who are trying to be very active on these kind of platforms.
Yeah, I think like when you say Shashank Mehta from Whole Truth Food, you're
Yeah.
not saying Shashank Mehta, you're saying from Whole Truth Food. So he has
Yeah.
built that first.
Yeah.
But you're very right when you say that the people who are building it, the founders, or like
Yeah.
the people who are involved in that whole process, have to be the voice of it. It
Yeah.
will not have its own voice. And of course, a person driving it outside
Yeah.
in front of the audience is
Yeah.
more relevant and it sounds more human.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why like I think every founder should make sure that they have it.
Right. So what does success look like to you, say in the next 3 years time frame?
For me, the success looks like it's in the happy customers, right? So uh, people actually deriving the value out of what we are doing. It's one product today, it can be another product tomorrow, right? So
Right.
it's not product dependent always, but whatever, I think like when we reach a point where people trust us that these guys will deliver the value.
Yeah.
If they are saying something, they'll deliver the value. I think that is what success means for the whole team.
Right. So tell me a little bit more on your short-term goals and your long-term goals. So what's a 3-year, 5-year, and a 10-year mark looking like at Tessact? In terms of team, in terms of funding, in terms of product, in terms of tech.
So I'm not a believer of 5 years and 10 years. The sole reason is like the space is moving so fast now. You cannot plan anything for beyond 3 years. But yes, in 3 years and 1 year, I can tell you. So in the immediate goal is to put this product in as many hands as possible. And when I say that, like I would consider this as a success when someone like you will also come and say that this has helped me a lot, right? And you're using it actively. Okay, so I think that's the 1 year thing where we just want to see someone like you to someone like the bigger production houses or the biggest production houses of the world to start using the product because we have built for everyone. But I think like I would say if we can solve the complete post production pipeline with say 90% of the automation, 95% of the automation in next 3 years, that would be our goal to reach. Beyond that, no one has seen, but that is the target we are trying to. It's latched on to like what we want to deliver and not with the revenues or other. I think that follows if you build the right thing. But yeah, our vision was always to automate the whole production post production pipeline so that people just shoot, right? And then nothing. Everything is done by Tessact.
Yeah.
So your job is to be creative in shooting. Our job is to deliver things.
Right. So you're a very product first company.
Yeah.
And you want to be seen and
Yes.
focusing on
Yes.
that aspect.
Value driven product.
Right. So with AI and video editing evolving so fast in today's time, what's that one future development that you can't wait to see?
I think like there are a lot of things which I'm looking forward to in the video space on how like films gets created from scratch using AI, like the production grade films. But that's not what I'm most excited about. I think like what I'm most excited about is how this whole thing penetrates to someone like my parents, right? How it goes to the blue collar and uh, below the blue collar people, right, who are not using the tech in day-to-day basis, but it still affects, right? Everyone uses WhatsApp right now. So can it go there in next 3 to 5 years?
So you want to develop a very simplified product, even for that target
No,
audience.
so this is not like I'm not talking about Tessact now. I'm talking about where the whole AI space can go.
Got it.
I'm excited to see how it can disrupt till that point.
Yeah.
Right? I think like in the video, a lot of disruptions are already happening.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not like how it can deliver value to everyone in the country is where the most because I'm not sure how it will do that. Who will come up with such sort of solutions?
No, it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah.
those things evolve
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick, fun, rapid fire segment with you, which is going to take 2 minutes. One app you can't live without, besides Tessacct, of course.
WhatsApp.
The best advice you ever got as a founder.
There will be a lot of crappy days, and you just need to stay true to your vision.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Your most used emoji.
The confused one in my chats. Yeah.
Okay. A trend in tech or startup world that you secretly find overrated.
I think using AI in the places where it's not needed at all. I'm seeing like people for one click also people are using AI now to just type, and it's not needed. Like it's going to a point where it's annoying because no one asked for it, no one needs it, but still just for the sake of that you do it.
Right. The first thing that you do when you wake up.
These days I check my phone. I hate that habit, but
I think it's with most
yeah,
entrepreneurs.
I mean like
A video you've rewatched too many times but still love it.
I think like I still love it. Like I rewatch the videos where I laugh a lot. So I think the snippets from Welcome movie always makes me like laugh because something is there, some weirdness
It uplifts you.
Yeah, it's
Uplifts your mood.
The weirdness about the scenes just makes you laugh, and like that's good. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely chatting with
Thank you.
and it was lovely having you over. So guys, we're at the end of the episode. If you've liked insights that Apurvs shared on the show today, follow us today on Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube on Boardroom Breakthroughs. This is your host Priyanka Bhatt signing off. Till then, keep building, stay focused, stay curious and stay inspired.